cut. Dangerous. Great. Oop, drop the can. Drop the weight. Get that can up there so I can miss it and kick you in the face. Accidentally banged sleepwalking dog. I confused narcolepsy with sleepwalking. I don't know why. Take a look at what I found. Here we go. Coming after you. They're gonna get you, boy. They're gonna get you, boy. Get on out here, boy. You know, they got your back. They got your tail. They got your tail. They got your tail. You can't go now. You can't go now. You can't go, boy. Oh no. Oh no. Fight back. Fight back. Oh man. That poor dog was running from freedom out of a nightmare and ran right into a wall.
The Legends of Classic Rock with Jeff Woods.
In terms of live albums, there were but a handful in the 70s that served to really propel artists into a whole new level of notoriety. Frampton Comes Alive comes to mind. So does Cheap Trick at Budokan, Kiss Alive, and a double album simply known as Live Bullet. I asked Bob Seger to think back to how important a record that was for him.
Oh, it was huge. You know, it came out, and then 6 months later, Night Moves came out, and 6 months after that, we had 2 platinum records, so it really propelled us. We had a lot of stuff to do live, which was great. You know, we had the stuff from Night Moves and the stuff from Live Bullet, and had a headlining set right off the bat. You know, so it was really, really good for us. And I've just heard down through the years so many people say, you know, I love to drive and listen to that record.
The Legends of Classic Rock.
PSD Nicolae Vasilescu, condamnat definitiv la 2 ani de închisoare pentru trafic de influență, a fost prins azi noapte pe aeroportul Otopeni. Continuăm cu o altă informație care a venit astăzi. Vorbim despre avocatul lui Adrian Năstase, propulsat la Curtea Constituțională. Lucian Bolcaș este propunerea Senatului pentru postul de judecător vacant de la CCR. Postul a rămas liber după plecarea Iuliei Motoc la Strasburg, unde va prelua pe 18 decembrie funcția de judecător la CEDO. Lucian Augustin Bolcaș are 70 de ani și a fost avocatul lui Adrian Năstase în dosarul Trofeul Calității, soldat cu o condamnare de 2 ani de închisoare cu executare pentru fostul premier. Bolcaș a bifat și 3 mandate de parlamentar, fiind senator PRM în 3 legislaturi, 2000-2004, 2004-2008 și 2008-2012. În anul 2010, vă reamintim, a fost exclus din Partidul România Mare, înscriindu-se ulterior în PSD-Ilfo.
Este măgulitoare propunerea făcută de colegii mei, dar mai mult decât aceasta, pentru orice jurist, este o încununare a încredința diverse domenii. Și aceasta trebuie regândită, trebuie să fie rezultatul unor dezbateri colective și armonizării a unor puncte de vedere.
Da, am fost consultat și sunt de acord. De vreme ce sunt de acord, este o personalitate cunoscută și recunoscută în lumea juridică, este un om cu îndelungată și multiplă experiență în această zonă, este un om care de o bucată de vreme se află în afara politicii și politicii de partid și calității de parlamentar și cred că este o bună propunere pe care eu, cel puțin, o să discut și cu colegii mei, sunt dispus să o susțin.
Esteria Negrea, 2 minute discutăm și despre această chestiune. Sigur, competența profesională, experiența deosebită, aceste două calități extraordinare pe care le are domnul avocat Lucian Bolcaș nu pot pune la îndoială calitățile care îl recomandă pentru Curtea Constituțională a României. Însă gurile rele ar putea să spună că, fiind avocatul domnului Năstase în celebrul dosar, deja trofeul calității, ar putea să fie o etichetă care să-l tragă în jos într-un fel sau altul.
Deci singura etichetă, pe dacă mi-a pus încă 2-3 etichete domnului Bolcaș, la cât de bătrâne nu cred că poate să-l mai ducă, jur. A făcut parte 3 mandate la rând dintr-un partid extremist naționalist, da? Partidul domnului Vadim Tudor, da? A fost avocatul domnului Adrian Năstase într-un dosar penal, dosar de corupție, da? Face parte din PSD, deci are coloratură politică, încercarea desuetă, să zic așa, să mă exprim elegant, a domnului Antonescu de a scoate din sfera politicii, nu-i face cinste, dar multe lucruri nu-i fac cinste domnului Antonescu, așa că n-are rost că îl girează pe domnul Bolcaș pentru a-și asigura majoritatea și a pune mâna pe încă o instituție, USL-ul în țara asta, e un fapt. E un fapt la care trebuie, e un fapt și o continuare a mineriadei politice de ieri. Asta este numirea domnului Bolcaș la Curtea Constituțională. E posibil că de acum încolo să vedem și multe alte chestii care nu ni se pare revoltătoare, chestii care ni se pare nouă revoltătoare, dar și Comisiei Europene și eventual ambasadelor occidentale, să le vedem că trec de Curtea Constituțională pentru că de USL-ul are și acolo o majoritate. Și după ce va fi pus mâna pe totul pe țara asta, eventual dacă mai putem să mai spunem și 2-3 vorbe la televizor, pentru că, după cum te-am mai spus, insulta și calomnia sunt reincriminate în noul cod penal, iar Activ-Watch și alte ONG-uri deja fac un protest pe tema asta. Asta e ultimul pas, crede-mă. După ce și-au asigurat super mega imunitatea, după ce vor vedea că sunt deasupra noastră cu totul, după aia ne vor pune și în gură și cu asta basta. O să ne numim România Absurdistan, ceva de genul ăsta.
Sperăm că nu vom ajunge într-o asemenea situație.
Sunt fapte, lucrurile astea se întâmplă în timp ce noi vorbim acum, înțelegi? Te duci și îți cumperi un kil de mere la piață, lucrurile astea se întâmplă. Te duci la supermarket, lucrurile astea se întâmplă, vin peste noi.
Mulțumesc, Stelia Negrea, pentru prezență și pentru aceste analize. Luăm o foarte scurtă pauză, revenim.
O să vă rog, domnule ministru, să comunicați din partea mea și jandarmilor și poliției că au susținerea mea pentru aplicarea legii. Că nimeni care distruge proprietăți publice sau private, am auzit această prostie pe care credeam că nu mai aude în secolul 21, că noi nu trebuie să apărăm proprietatea privată. Deci dacă intră și dărâmă gardul de la ziarul care a zis chestia asta, ar trebui să ne băgăm. Trebuie să ne băgăm. Jandarmii și poliția trebuie să impună aplicarea legii.
Comunicat, domnule prim-ministru.
Bine. Și le dați și vestea bună că astăzi dăm 75 de milioane ultimele datorii de pe vremea domnului Boc, nu?
La uniformă, da.
Bine. Să dea și domnul, domnul ministru Pricopie, dar domnul ministru Costoiu să dați vestea că astăzi mai alocăm 40 de milioane pentru învățământul preuniversitar și universitar. Și de asemenea, doamna, sigur, nu e treaba directă a doamnei ministru Câmpeanu, e mai mult la domnul Dragnea, dar reușim din tot ce ați mai dat dumneavoastră înapoi de la ministere să dăm toți banii pentru însoțitorii persoanelor cu dizabilități, 80 de milioane de lei.
Viața e un cadou frumos și unul de căcate. De căcat să trăiești din România, de fapt nu că e ceață, praf. E un sistem bolnav într-o țară frumoasă pe care o fac pilaf. Târfe ordinare cu un singur scop, să ne sece pe toți ca ei să fie în top. Nu contează cine moare, dacă moare, cum trăiește.
But there was no drilling in my area yet on either the New York or the Pennsylvania side of the Delaware. New York State had commissioned its Department of Environmental Conservation to do an environmental impact study, and the Delaware River Basin Commission, which controlled my area of Pennsylvania, had not decided whether or not it wanted to allow gas drilling in sensitive watershed areas. It stirred up something else in me, the need to find out what was going on. Was Dimmick an exception or the rule? And how was I going to find out? Was I actually going to become a kind of natural gas drilling detective? Okay, I guess.
Well, you be careful, because that one's known to nip butts. And it pinches pretty good.
Keep the camera over my butt now.
Yeah.
And it's gurgling.
Oh, wow. So that's the sample.
This is, it's all settled out.
Right.
But that's what our water looked like.
That came just out of the tap?
Out of the tap.
Right.
So in 3 weeks, they contacted Mike by phone and said, we've tested your water. There's nothing wrong with your water.
With this?
With this. There's nothing wrong with the water that can be affected by the oil and gas production in your area.
So what have you been doing?
We put in our own tank and he hauls water every week.
I've got 2 500-gallon tanks, and I go to town once a week and buy water. It's a coin-operated thing, so I got to put in $15 worth of quarters.
The purpose of this letter is to inform you that Noble Energy has contracted LT Environmental to conduct an investigation. Okay. Possible natural gas impact on water well in the vicinity.
Again, I was a little disappointed in the state. I mean, obviously, we have a problem here. 2 weeks ago, they had the meeting, and I prepared a statement kind of outlining everything. You know, the director of the oil and gas, or acting director of the oil and gas, said, next question.
That was Dave,
Neil Neslin, or
yeah, he kicked us out of his office two days ago.
So is there like a theme to your documentary? Do you have a message you're trying to get across with it?
I apologize very much for your inconvenience. I wish you good luck with your documentary.
Okay. I'd be happy to talk to you off the record with some background information if that's helpful, but I just can't do it.
All right, well, we'll call you.
Okay?
All right.
Again, my apologies. Good luck. Have a good day.
All right, thanks.
Yep.
At one time when we were going through all the gurgling in the well, I decided to put a plastic bag over the wellhead. And with minutes, it filled up that bag. So I closed off the bag and I stuck a fuse in it. And I thought, this might be real stupid. So I came in and I told Marcia, I said, why don't you dial 9-1? And if this doesn't go right,
hit the other one.
Hit the other one. So I got this bag of who knows what, and I lit it, and it started floating towards the road. And I thought, oh no, truck is gonna come, I'm gonna blow up a truck.
Oh yeah, I saw it go up for a second.
Yeah. We'll just give it a second here.
Whoa, Jesus Christ.
That's the best I've done. I smell hair.
Oh, damn. Can I try it?
Yeah. Shall we get that in the frame?
Don't drink this water. Jesus Christ.
That one was kind of spooky. That even surprised me. And I've been liking that water quite a bit.
It's really upsetting, actually.
Yeah.
You know, it's not supposed to do that.
I don't know if I... Oh! That doesn't look very delicious.
Here we go.
Cheese.
Cheese. Jeff and Rhonda Locker, they've been living here for at least 30 years. But at some point in the late 90s, there was a gas company re-stimulating a well out behind their house. Rhonda was out doing the wash, and the wash went black. They knew they had a small problem with the water. And there isn't a laundromat for miles.
All of a sudden, the washing machine plugged up, and the water that came out and flooded the back where the washing machine is was pure black, complete black. And of course, at that time, I went out and stopped the pumper when he came through the yard and asked him what he'd done to our water. And he says, well, we didn't do anything to it. In pursuing it further, I finally got water samples, and that's when we found out the water was totally unfit for consumption.
That fast?
Yeah, it was just immediate. Just about right for a cool day. Now, can we get together? Come on.
The Lockers threatened the gas company with a lawsuit. They settled for $21,000 to put in a reverse osmosis filtration system.
This is the well that was on the property when we bought it. We're still using it, but it's the one that went bad.
Jeff and Rhonda Locker had to sign a non-disclosure agreement.
The day that I signed it, I even said to him, I just want you to know I may sign this, but if anyone asks me, I will not lie.
Now, they're so frustrated that they're breaking their silence.
This is our system. It pumps out of there, it pumps through the softener, it pumps through there, and it fills this 500-gallon tank. It's just a centrifugal pump. It goes through a real fine, I call it a filter, it's more like a membrane. We were actually drinking it for a while. But 4.5 years ago, Rhonda got really sick with extreme neuropathy and is in a lot of pain. She just faded fast and had the bone pain, and she's been through spinal taps and everything to try to find a cause.
Jeff and Rhonda Locker found out that a reverse osmosis unit won't filter out glycol ethers. Glycol ethers eat the membranes inside of the filters.
We don't drink it anymore. We haul our water and we...
Tell me about hauling the water. Where are you getting it from and how does it work?
Walmart.
Buy it.
Yeah.
Like Jeff and Rhonda Locker, after a nearby frack job, Lewis Meek's water went bad. Started smelling like gas.
See, 2004, they drilled this well right over here. I don't know if you can see it from here. It's 5.
Numerous water tests turned up various forms of hydrocarbons and glycol ethers. In Canna, the company doing the fracking claimed no responsibility. With his back against the wall, Lewis had no alternative but to try to drill a new water well on his property.
From 180, 160, you could smell gas. And he went in there and we got to 240. And when we put that joint on and started to try to blow it out, well, it came at us.
Natural gas exploded out of Lewis Meeks's water well for over 3 days. The Department of Homeland Security reported that over 3 million cubic feet of natural gas escaped into the atmosphere. Lewis had to get an injunction from a judge to get Encana to cement the well to stop the flow and to provide him with a replacement water source. The big green building next to Lewis's house contains 2 cisterns that Encana fills up twice a week.
I can show you the water.
So these are 2 big water tanks that they're filling up for you. Why are they bringing it?
Tell me. If nothing's wrong, why are they bringing it?
So you actually hired a hydrogeologist to figure out what was going on around here?
Yeah.
And what did he say?
He said that they got everything intermingled. When they do anything like frack it, they're going to intermingle everything.
You can already see you're going to see little pearls of stuff come out of it, like oil. I just already saw one over here.
And the water that comes out of Lewis Meek's original well is only good for some bizarre science experiments and brain-altering recreational activities.
Oh, man. Tell me you drink that.
No way.
Tell me there ain't nothing wrong with this water.
It smelled like turpentine. That chemical smell that goes straight to your head and gets you dizzy almost immediately.
Here's the thing, I think it's criminal. What would happen if I took some chemicals like I got and took them to, like, the big bossy in Canada and dumped them in his well?
Yeah.
They'd have me in the pen so fast my head would spin.
For sure.
But look, if they can come out here and do whatever they want to. And they don't even have to report it and tell us what they're putting in there.
The whole concept of democracy and looking out for the little guy does not apply here.
Exactly.
It
and I'll tell
not.
you, I ain't not lying. I never seen such lying, you know what I mean. I mean, their word ain't no good. And, and we was all raised that way. If your word ain't no good, you ain't no good. And you talk to these are grown men lying to you.
Right.
For what? For money. And that's it.
When we had ours tested with them to have tested and they found glycol in it, it cost us $4,400.
Yeah, for what?
Something is burning on the surface there. It's like a plastic.
Glycol ethers are odorless, colorless, and are a liquid chemical component of plastic.
Something definitely in it.
When Lewis took a blowtorch to his water, I think we found a cheaper way of testing for glycol ethers. Either that, or a secret Wyoming recipe for homemade plastic.
Here, wait.
Okay.
I liked Lewis immediately. Cool 70s patterned mirrors, cowboy statues everywhere,
And what about these?
and the most comfortable couch in the United States.
You ready? I'm ready. That's good to sit on. Shoot me on the buffalo hides. That is fab. Wow.
John Fenton and his wife Kathy have 24 gas wells on their property, all of them visible from their front porch.
I was raised here, and at one time, there was nothing. I mean, there was no oil, nothing.
Now you
All
have
this-
everywhere you can see.
Everywhere you can see. Yeah, and like we can really sell this place with the water situation, and, well, look at it. We don't own our mineral rights.
Now see this black cow right here, that little calf? That little calf's, probably less than 12 hours old right there.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's a new one there. We've only got a certain, amount of water wells to work with, and God, I don't know how they even drink it, to be honest with you. It's the damnedest smelling stuff, and comes out different colors all the time, but you got to use it sometimes. I think we should strive to be the cleanest and the most environmentally conscious that we can. A lot of times it's right out in the middle of the field. That's where we make our money. You see the green grass growing, that's money to us, and that's fertilizer, and that's feed for the cows, that's everything. And they tear up a football field-sized area and drill a hole out there, and they spread toxic chemicals, and then on top of that you got gravel and rocks and big pieces of metal, and then they pipeline everywhere, and it just cuts us to pieces. There's no rhyme or reason to how they do things out here. They do it different on every hole. There's different people. Nobody's watching over them. You know, it's a free-for-all. It's...
John Fenton describes his home being surrounded by venting condensate tanks. At times, the fumes from the condensate tanks are so strong, they surround the house in a cloud of toxic vapor.
And you can come out here when the sun's coming up and the air is just brown. The first 100, 200 feet of air is like a brown blanket laying over the top of everything. And, you know, not only are all the animals in there breathing it and absorbing it through their skin, but all the people are too.
Kathy and her mother-in-law, who lives right down the road, suffers from headaches, dizziness, and a loss of smell and taste.
It's going to be, I know they say you have to let them drill, you got to come to a compromise. You know, we already know that. We've already compromised as much as we can compromise. If they do any more drilling out here, it's just going to force people, it's going to force us out of business, off our land. The less people they have to deal with out here, the more they can drill. But they can drill whether we like it or not. It doesn't seem to matter that we're affected. Humans are being affected.
If I'd known what it was going
to... 7 medical researchers from the University of Colorado studied the air and the water, finding acute problems from toxic emissions from gas development. So when I got calls from people in Garfield County, there were calls from people who had severe health problems.
This is Karen Truelove. She started getting massive headaches, getting really ill, feeling sick, and she said it got so bad that she didn't even plan her days anymore. She just tried to get through them. Then my friend Rick, is benzene in his blood, toluene.
Tara was speaking for her friends that couldn't speak for themselves mostly, because of non-disclosure agreements. People who were in lawsuits or who had settlements that stipulated that once they received their money, they could no longer go public with their stories. Tara had one friend who hadn't signed a non-disclosure agreement.
My great friend Dee Hoffmeister.
We had just celebrated our 50th wedding anniversary. We came back, and as we drove in the yard, there was this huge rig and semis, and the smell was so intense. The benzene was so intense that we ran for our deck. The deck was enveloped, and it had this big gray cloud. It was like it was being held in on the deck with this cloud. So we were in the house, I'd say mostly at the most 15 minutes when I got up and passed out. And you get pains all over your body. You don't know why you're getting the pains, and then they come and go, and they'll show up in another part of your body. I got to the point where I was walking with a 4-pronged steel cane because I couldn't walk on my own.
After her first big knockdown exposure, she wasn't in very good shape, but then just a couple of years ago...
Dee Hoffmeister's gas well exploded. The condensate tanks caught fire, and the rig was consumed.
At 3 in the morning, we heard these pops. Our son got up to go look outside, and he had to run back in because the deck was so hot, he was burning. And I opened my eyes, and I couldn't keep them open because everything started spinning. And then the next day, I was even worse, and he took me to emergency. We had our son and his wife and 4 kids living upstairs here in the house when this all started. And all 4 of them got asthma. And 2 of my daughter's children got asthma. They were on nebulizers in the winter to breathe.
Sau dus când au apus anii de sus. Unde-s pistoalele, unde-s punalele, caii și flintele haiducilor? Unde-s pistoalele, unde-s punalele, caii și flintele haiducilor?
Here, just like Steve said, it's like a Pepsi bottle. You ready?
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, it burns.
Yeah, I'd say.
Keep your face out.
That's Divided Creek.
That is where the seep occurred in 2008 in the summer. There was dead crawdads, there was dead rabbits, dead birds, which I still have the bodies.
You have the bodies?
I have the bodies in the
your
freezer.
house?
Yeah,
In the freezer?
because even DOW hasn't been able in almost a year to figure out who to send them to. And
This is all in Canada.
Yeah.
You feel like you don't want to sit down or get in the water?
Yeah, because you don't know. You don't know. My dad, he was down here all the time in the summertime and drinking out of the creek, because the creek was good creek water.
Sure.
The year of the seep, it was discovered in April. He'd been drinking out of the creek for a month. He was dead 2 years later of pancreatic cancer.
There are no weeds in the funnel. We've taken the weeds out. We're just going to do the gas, same way, cover the seep. Now, the whole seep's not covered. It's still bubbling all around it. All right, you ready? Now, that's still burning yellow. Now, this is 12 inches high, and the flame's going up probably another 12 inches, so you got 2 feet there.